to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George.
Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists, where today we've got a fun little bonus episode for you. About 6 months ago we did our first, well, that's my iPod, or my fucking laptop making text notification sounds. Hold on a second. Alright. We got a fun little bonus episode for you today. About 6 months ago we did a one-on-one Ask Me Anything episode where we just exchange questions back and forth, until we hit about that hour and a half mark, and we decided to call it. We're going to kind of run it back today, but with exclusively top fives. I'm very, very excited. Random top fives. Nothing binds them. Just we wanted to ask each other top fives, and that's what we've got today. And then, because we haven't officially decided what we're going to do with the podcast in December, we've got a few ideas up in the air. We're going to work that out at the end here. So I'm very excited for that. We obviously covered Fantastic Mr. Fox yesterday, so that was the movie for the week. But hope everyone had a happy holiday. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up? Always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. It's Black Friday. People are out shopping. They're listening to the podcast as they peruse the shopping malls, as it were. They're in Best Buy going, what do Colton and Joseph have to say today? Obviously that's top of mind for everyone involved.
Of course. But yes, no, these good old lists, every time we do them, it always reminds me or makes me have the same feeling of, dang, I need to rewatch this movie, or like I need to desperately watch these again, or at least it's nice to put me back in the zone of thinking of all these things. And we got the spread that we had. I don't know, it was seemingly unrelated, but then it felt like there are
natural ties that bind, to be sure, and usually the tie that binds there is Star Wars, which is unfortunate, but it's just where my mind's going to go sometimes when we have questions like these. So I'll begin with one where I expressly did leave Star Wars out on purpose, but just because there's a lot I wanted to show love otherwise, which is your top 5 movie scores. Where do you fall here?
I did follow suit with you. I did leave Star Wars out, and it would
just kind
likely
of implied.
Be there.
It just kind of implied. So it's
very. But no, I think now, once probably you asked me this question, 5 years ago, it would just be the classics. I don't know, just every superhero movie, or like or kind of
Jurassic Park
that is
and Jaws, and
the John Williams. Basically,
John Williams is still going to be still going to be a part of this. So yeah, I just didn't include Star Wars, but I did include a different John Williams. But yeah, where are you sitting?
I have been. I do have a movie soundtrack playlist that I just hit shuffle on every now and then for homework or whenever I need to just kind of get down and lock in. And there are 5 that like I will skip others to get to. I'm
right.
like I guess more than, I don't know, but so these 5 I feel like are just my top tier, and I love just listening to them at any time of the day. Maybe surprising, but 5, I'm starting off with Babylon. And
Not
Babylon
surprising.
I guess it is it's very long. The amount of tracks that are on that soundtrack is incredible, and then there's the just very different vibes, but then I can't get enough of just the main theme. Just
so good.
But it's like this slot was very much.
Yeah, I love that main theme. That main motif is so fucking good. Yeah, I have it. I have 6 listed, and I thought you'd have one of them, and therefore that's why I had 6, is because that was one of them. I love Babylon. I love Justin Hurwitz. It's an incredible score. It definitely deserved the Oscar that year. I will never not let that go. All Quiet on the Western Front score is not that good. But
No,
I love Babylon.
Was peak. And I had some. This was tough to the 5 slot. My next 4 were pretty sound, and I knew. But this one, I was between Babylon, kind of musicals. I guess this was the musical slot. Was Babylon, La La Land, and Hello, Andrew Garfield.
Tick, Tick, Boom.
Tick, Tick, Boom. Thank you. I had the image, everything in my head, just couldn't get the name. But yeah, it was between those, and then I arrived.
It was the Justin Hurwitz spot. It sounds like if you had La La
those
Land
all
and
him?
No, La La Land and Babylon were. Not
but,
Tick, Tick, Boom.
But yeah, Babylon, I guess, won out over the rest. But
would have for me as well. So I appreciate that perspective. Babylon's a good one to start with. What else you got?
But yeah, but then number 4 is these all kind of newer, I guess. Now I'm realizing, but 4 is where I have Oppenheimer. It is the slow good old there's the
Ludwig Göransson
classic theme, and then there's the quantum mechanics track, which is basically the main theme but just slowed down. And it like those, I don't know why, it just gets me in a different zone. It makes me
No, I didn't include this one just because I knew for a fact you would. But it is one of those. Yeah, I love Ludwig Göransson and the Oppenheimer soundtrack, or score. I'll never forget sitting in that movie theater and hearing that specific sound you're talking about. Whenever it when it dude, and whenever it does that, you're just like, oh my fucking god, let's go. I love that, and obviously the "Do You Hear the Music, Robert?" Like that whole song is just so good. I love Ludwig Göransson, and Oppenheimer is probably, in a career full of incredible work, probably his best so far, which is saying a lot, because he's done a lot of incredible stuff.
He's just gonna keep it going. I hope. Is a very much. I don't know how, or maybe it's just because I put it on for homework and studying and stuff. But it feels science-y. I mean, the movie is about science.
No, yeah, I think that's
I don't
part
know
of
how
the point.
The music. Yes, how does the music feel science-y? Is it my brain telling it to do so because of the movie, or just the nature of it? But no, I go back to it quite often for Oppenheimer. So knew it had to be there.
Love that.
And then moving on. Yeah, this I guess theater experiences, kind of similar here, but took it up to a higher degree. Was the new Batman. This one, I come back to this one so much, in every single song. I know exactly where in the movie the song is, and then each theme, Catwoman's theme, Riddler's theme, they're all so good.
God,
I
love
for,
the Batman.
For their character.
Michael Giacchino just fucking killed that dude. That's one of my one that I mentioned 2 in a row now, where I was like, I thought you might have it, so I didn't include it. Fuck that for this one. Fuck that for this one. I knew you'd have it, and I included it anyway. That's the power of the Batman there. Incredible score. So definitely not the last time we'll talk about that here, but yeah.
So yeah, we'll get back around to it. And then my number 1 and 2. I feel like if you know me, I feel like these are pretty in stone. But it's deciding which goes where, which is kind of the difficult part. But one has to fall below. They're kind of 1A, 1B, but one did fall to 2, and it was Interstellar. It fell to 2 for me. So yeah, Interstellar, the good old cornfield chase, the good old
docking.
Some of those songs can get me to cry. Just the song itself, which is kind of nuts, and just it evokes so much emotion. I feel like just in the music alone.
Docking.
But docking, yes.
There's one word Matthew McConaughey says that I can kind of do a good Matthew McConaughey impression, and it's that one. So he goes, docking. That's all he says. I love it. I love it.
Man, yes, it's analyze the, it's impossible. No, it's necessary. I can't do I'm way too stuffed up. Can't even do a Matthew McConaughey at all. But no, yes,
necessary.
Those are songs I know immediately. Even more than Batman. I know what's happening in the movie. Like this is a movie that is ingrained into my brain forever. But yeah, Interstellar was 2, and then 1. I listened to it more than anything else, way more than any of these movie soundtracks. This is kind of just what I go to naturally for anything, and that's the Tron Legacy soundtrack. Good old Daft Punk. The movie itself, as far as compared Interstellar, Batman, Oppenheimer, Babylon, I don't think Tron Legacy quite is up on that prowess. But for me, the music, the sound of it, that's really what I go to Tron Legacy for, is just to basically have an hour and 30 hour, however long, of just Daft Punk with cool visuals to go along with it. But yeah, it's my... I love Daft Punk way more than just this one soundtrack, but man, I don't know. It was kind of just... It felt like for me, like this was just a perfect little gift. This movie, this soundtrack, everything kind of wrapped up. So, but yeah, beat out Interstellar for me.
I love that. I knew that would be at the top of your list. I had the suspicion it would be at the top of your list anyway. I love the spread you've got there. You got Justin Hurwitz in there. You got Ludwig Göransson. You got Michael Giacchino. You got Hans Zimmer, and you got Daft Punk. That's a pretty great. That's a pretty great slate there.
Okay. Okay, I didn't.
Did repeat director, but not composer, which is important. I like that. So you decided what my 5 would be, because you took Babylon. I was kind of okay with. I thought you could have one of these two, and I wanted to include one of them based on which one you didn't go with. So my 5 is going to be Challengers, by Reznor and Ross.
Yes.
So the premise I approach this with is, like, obviously score in movie is deeply, deeply important, and the way things affect me in a movie are usually largely decided by music. But the way I decided my favorite scores here were mostly how much do I listen to it not watching the movie. And Challengers is one that I come back to a lot. Like, I work in a kitchen a few days out of the week, and busy periods, brother, I'm going to throw on this for an hour, and it's going to get everybody to lock the fuck in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in there. Everybody's locked the fuck in. I love it. Challengers, Reznor and Ross. No particular order on these for me, until probably the top one. But 4, I'm going to go Fire Walk With Me, Angelo Badalamenti.
I didn't think of they do got a movie in there.
They do got a movie in there. I had to figure out how to pull the trigger on Twin Peaks somehow, and Fire Walk With Me includes the classic iconic tracks like the Twin Peaks theme, like Laura's theme, and it expounds upon them in more songs, which is incredible. So Fire Walk With Me, Angelo Badalamenti. The Batman, as you said, Michael Giacchino. I adore that soundtrack. Spotify Wrapped 2022. It was actually legitimately my top however many tracks that album is. It was that in order, if you'll recall. It was that in order because I just listened to it from front to back so often. So
as one should.
It's that
it
good. Yeah, I will never get tired of it, dude. And I am the shadows. I love that shit.
It's Thursday. I mean, it's like 31st. These. I feel like these movies, all of these movies, it's not just the soundtrack that's good to them. It is like, it's almost like the soundtrack enhanced the movie so much that the movie. Well, no, the movie. I think you take the soundtrack out, these movies are all still phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
But like, I don't think it's a coincidence that all of these. No, movies are also like
a movie with a good score automatically elevates the movie. If a movie has a bad score, it's noticeable. But like to make a movie where the score is so noticeably good that it elevates it is always going to be compelling. And one of my favorite examples of that, where it's really subtle, it's not super in your face, but damn, when you let yourself feel it, it really, really hits all the right buttons. When I go for a walk, I've been going for a lot of night walks lately because it's been ridiculously nice, and I'm taking advantage of it before the temperature drops like crazy. Like the sky's been clear, no clouds in the sky, stars above, beautiful. I'm listening to Past Lives by Christopher Bear and Daniel Rawson. Very ethereal, very subtle. Nothing that's super in your face, but man, does it feel, it just feels good. It's a warm soundtrack. If you want it to be sad, it can be sad. If you want it to be happy, it can be happy. And I think that's a really, really impressive thing for them to have done with the music there. I love Past Lives, love that score. And my number one, I did include a John Williams, but I didn't want to do Star Wars because I'm going to bring up Star Wars a few times today. So this is kind of the John Williams pick. Like, you could Raiders, you could any Star Wars, you could, you could do any of those stuff. The Fabelmans. The Fabelmans is good. I love the Fabelmans. But my favorite that I always come back to, that I always think about, is Superman. I love the Superman 78 theme. And I love that score. It just works so perfectly in that movie. And there's no superhero theme, I think, that just gets me there more. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah. Yeah, like, this is a fucking hero. And the Superman 78 theme just always does that, which is why I appreciated John Murphy and James Gunn teaming up to kind of play on it with the new Superman. But I love Superman by John Williams.
Crazy that, like, I kind of forget that is him sometimes. Like the Jurassic, the Star Wars, the everything else, it is him, and they're so iconic that but this theme feels more iconic than all of the. It feels like
it's a different kind. It's transcended. I guess it depends on the fandom you're a part of, because I'm a Star Wars fan. I tie the Star Wars theme so closely with John Williams, but there are probably very casual fans who would listen to the score and go, "Oh, that's the Star Wars. I don't know who it's by." So, like, that's the other thing, is that, like, I was going to say Superman's kind of transcended to where, like, people know the song and they might not even know who it's actually a theme for and who it's by. Whenever people hear the Indy theme from Raiders, they think of Harrison Ford. Whenever they hear the Star Wars theme, they think of Star Wars. And Superman, I feel like, kind of eludes that categorization. It's just kind of a good song that a lot of people know. And John Williams has so many of those. The Jurassic Park theme, the Jaws theme, E.T. has some moments like that. Just an incredible composer. He's about to make his 30th score for a Spielberg movie. Just Spielberg movies.
Wait,
he's about to do his 30th.
What?
Yeah.
They've teamed together for 30 movies?
Yeah, and the next one will be that UFO movie coming out next summer.
Ooh. Okay. That sounds...
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So
I thought you meant 30 all time.
I know.
For a second.
I saw that.
Wow.
I saw that, like, Culture Crave posted, "Oh, John Williams will be scoring his 30th," and I just didn't really read it. I just kind of looked and I was like, holy shit, 30 movies. That's a lot of movies to score. And then I looked and I was like, these are all Spielberg movies. Hold the fucking phone. How many fucking movies has John Williams scored? Like, that's unbelievable work to put in over the course of a career. So, yeah.
Over 150 movies.
That's unbelievable. That's
film and television, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, still. No matter, if you're able to compose... Well, and that's the thing. That might be how many things he's credited on, like with music inspired by. So every Star Wars thing has music inspired by John Williams. And so, hard to say, but it's a lot of fucking stuff, to say the least. And I mean, that's why he's the GOAT. It's why he's the GOAT. So... All right, first question down, 20 minutes deep. What's next you got for me?
Yeah. Let's see. I think let's get emotional, Let's get the best cries that you've ever had during a movie.
All right. Well, to determine the best cries I've ever had during a movie was incredibly difficult because I cry all the time in movies. It's not a difficult thing for me to get done. You know, like the other day, I walked upstairs and Quentin was crying in the kitchen, and Quentin, my little brother, does not cry. I cannot emphasize that to you enough. Like I genuinely, I was going to be late for work, and I stopped in my tracks to be like, "Are you okay? Like, what are you okay? What's going on?" He's like, "I just watched The Green Mile." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Yep, that'll do it." And he was like, "I've just never cried during a movie before. Now I can't fucking stop."
Damn. Wow.
I'm like, I get it.
Good.
I get it. First time I ever cried during a movie, I was 5 years old. It was Curious George. He was in that cage, getting transported across the water. Ooh-wee.
Oh.
Did not like it. So I let the floodgates open very early when I was little.
Okay.
Now, that is not a part of my list, but I look back on all the times I've cried during movies, and it's hard. So honorable mentions, I've got a lot of them. I'm gonna go Dead Poet Society. That's just an obvious one.
Ooh.
That Jesus Christ, whenever it happens, and it's just not. It's We Live in Time last year. Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh, fucking A.
Yeah.
Wow. La La Land, of course, is always going to get me at the end. If Beale Street Could Talk is, of course, going to get me. Moonlight, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Tick, Tick, Boom. Tick, Tick, Boom in recent memory is one of those ones that just like, I didn't know anything about Jonathan Larson. And then to watch his story unfold, and then for Alexandra Shipp's narration to come over and be like, he died the night before it hit Broadway. And it ran for, I just choking sobs, choking sobs.
The only times Happy Birthday is actually fucking the saddest. I don't want to hear, like, it's like, I don't want to hear Happy Birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so good. Okay. Top 5 cries though. And I tried to go with ones that I have moments like during this spot, it makes me cry. Oh, Little Women, another honorable mention. Always going to get me. A couple points right when Beth dies and right when, Lori is like, because you're you'll do this. You will, and I'll watch. Whoo! Gets me. But top 5 anyway. This is the only one where I don't have a specific moment, but I can point to you to several specific moments, as in the last 45 minutes of it. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, will always get me. I'm yet to watch that movie and not cry. I think I've watched it 7 or 8 times. I watched it for my birthday, my 25th birthday this year with my family. And there came a point during the movie where my dad was like, "Are you sick?" Because all he hears from me over here is, and I'm like, "No, I'm fucking crying." And he's like, "Why?" Like, it's so funny that, like, he's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "I don't know, Dad. It just hits like a fucking truck for me." Just whenever Kequan delivers that line where he's like, "Why can't we all just be kind?" It's so corny, but it's so sweet, and I can't help it. Her embracing her daughter at the very end. Wow. The kiss at the very end between Kequan and Michelle Yeoh is always going to get me. Like, it's just a series of events at the end of the movie that's just so cathartic. Whenever Joy is about to do it, she's basically been looking for someone to commit a suicide pact with, and that's what the movie's about. And you're like, my God, that's devastating. Like, I don't know. I love the movie. It gets me every time. So I had to put it on here. I had to include it. But yeah, not one where there's like a specific moment where I'm like, oh, that's it for me. The rest of them,
we'll
kind of have that
as
yeah,
well.
I'm sure.
It had to be on there, but
other ones, top 4, Titanic. Always gonna get me. Yeah, always going to get me. Always going to get me. And it's like, it's not even strictly the death scene. Like, that does get me. Jack on the door, and then like him sliding off the door and stuff, like that does get me, but it's not as bad as whenever she dies and she sees him again and it's in the Titanic Hall and she like walks up the stairs and they kiss at the top and then it fades to white. Yeah, dude. Like, I'm a goner. It's not even close. Whew.
Man,
Next up,
that's after or post Gatsby. I don't know. That'll be a nice.
Dude,
I need more romance movies. Yeah,
romance movies are the shit. And let's see, 3 of these are romance movies. Yeah, so that makes sense. But because the next one's Past Lives. I brought it up a second ago. Past Lives, the ending of Past Lives, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just that Greta Lee is so good at performing it. But whenever she says goodbye to Hae-sung, whenever Nora says goodbye to Hae-sung and she walks back down the street and you just sit with her for a while and you can like watch the wheels turn in her mind and she's just slowly approaching the stairs and she gets back home and the whole movie's been building up to this where she's like, no, I don't cry anymore. I don't cry anymore. You know, I used to be a crybaby and now I'm not. And, you know, New York the city kind of beat it out of me. I kind of had to force myself to be strong and da-da-da-da. And then when she gets back, she starts crying and her husband hugs her and she just breaks the fuck down in his arms. My God, dude. I watched this again for the first time in about 2 years, actually. No, year and a half. My bad. Year and a half, not 2 years. I was like, that's not right. I watched this for the first time in about a year and a half just the other night. And my fucking God, dude. Like, it was, I watched it from 1:45 to 3:30 a.m. And at 3:30, I'm just.
It enhances the cries even more.
Oh, it does. I love it. I love it dead in the middle of the night watching a movie that'll make me cry. It's one of my favorite things, and Past Lives is always going to do it. It's so good. So that's at 3. Number 2 is Brokeback Mountain. I'm not going to spoil this because I don't think you've seen it.
I have not. Yeah.
And that's that. I believe that is the case for the top 2, so I won't spoil those either. I won't spoil either of them. Brokeback Mountain is fucking heartbreaking. Heartrending, destroys your soul, tears you apart, and has no interest in putting you back together. Brokeback Mountain is, my God, so good and terribly misconceptualized by the masses if you haven't seen it. You know, because of how ingrained homophobia is in kind of everybody.
That's like all I know of the movie is that everyone kind of hates it because it's gay, or like it's like. Or
I remember being like, you shouldn't watch that. It's gay. You know, like I remember that. I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
I watched it and I'm like, this is one of the best movies I've ever fucking seen. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And I also had it misconceptualized as like the gay cowboy movie. You know, there was this idea that it was probably. It almost seemed funny when I was younger. Like people almost described like the way people would describe it, not funny. It's absolutely devastating. It's super sad. Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger are incredible in it. Michelle Williams and Anne Hathaway are in it. It's directed by Ong Lee, who did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I'm trying to think of something that he would have done that I feel like we covered something that he. Oh, Hulk 2003.
Nice.
That's what he directed that we'd talked about. But
glad it hasn't been spoiled though.
No. And it's one that I mean, just be ready because it's a fucking heartbreaker. And then my number 1, this one is just because it had been sold to me as the most devastating movie I'll ever watch. You know, like it was like, you will watch this movie and you will cry. You know, I remember when it got put on Netflix, it was like under this category that was like, so, you know how they have like those abstract titles for categories where it's like Summer Breeze. And it's like, oh, that's probably nice. That's probably nice and fun. This is one of those ones that was under that category. It's After Sun, starring Paul Mescal. Unbelievable slow burn. I can't wait to see what else Charlotte Wells does. It's unbelievably well directed, incredibly performed. I love Paul Mescal. And it's just the ending. Like there's this sense of mounting despair over the course of the movie. Then you get to the ending, which isn't exactly conclusive. It's not like you're watching something where you go, oh no. The movie just kind of ends and we cut to black. And I will never forget, I just sat there like in the pitch fucking black sobbing, dude. Like I was just like, oh my God. hits like a truck. Again, won't spoil it. Hard movie to spoil, but you can spoil the ending, and it's a wow. Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. So yeah, After Sun is the top one cry I can think of in recent memory. Just fucking destroyed me. So that's the 5. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Titanic, Past Lives, Brokeback Mountain, and After Sun.
Okay, I have some repeats. An honorable mention for you, and then one. But the my first 2 are actually some of my first cries that I can remember in movie, just in any movie ever. My earliest cry that I can remember in a movie is King Kong, and I remember at this time in my life, I'm a guy. I can't cry in a movie. That's weak. You can't do that. No. You're what? Yes, but I was watching this. It was just me and my sister, and she didn't even start to cry. But whenever King Kong falls off the tower, the planes start, get shooting him, whatever, and he's dying. And he's falling off of the tower. I don't know why, but it broke every barrier of I'm not allowed to cry, and I was just like, it's happening. And so it was the first cry I've ever had. And welcome back, Janie E. Naomi.
We love
it's
Naomi
kind of fun.
Watts.
Seeing her back again, which is cool. But yeah, that was my first cry that I ever had in a movie. So there was my number 5, and then my number 4. It's the first cry I ever had in a theater. So even more so, if I'm at home, King Kong, I guess whatever age I was, it was okay because I wasn't around too many people. But now it's like I'm in public and I don't want people to see me cry because I'm whatever. But no, the movie that did it was Toy Story 3. What year did Toy Story
2012?
2011? See how old I was. But yes, this was 2010. Holy shit. So yeah, I was, I guess, in theater. It was new. I saw it in theater, and I remember whenever they're in the furnace, they think they're about to die. That was one
hands.
Cry. So that was a cry, and then whenever Andy has to say goodbye and he leaves them, and it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, so my whole childhood coming to an end. With you. But so yeah, first 2 cries that I had in my life were there.
Partner. Yeah, no, that fucking that gets me. Yeah, good one.
And my third one was a cry that I hate. It's like it's for a bad feeling. And I was between 2. You mentioned Dead Poet Society, which is, I think, my actual pick. But I was actually between that and Zone of Interest for this pick of a cry that is just, I hate the fact that I even have to cry over this, but it's it's so disgusting. I don't know. It's at least it lets me know my moral compass is on. I guess it's a reality check of holy shit, that actually happened. And so, but kind of 2 similar cries where one's a suicidal cry where it's oh damn, you dead poets, no, it's terrible. And then Zone of Interest, a whole different thing.
Zone of Interest is I did consider Zone of Interest, but the reason I didn't include it is because whenever I'm watching it, it almost I don't get mad a lot ever. So when I do, I'm I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to process it. This one makes me so angry I cry. That's the kind of
yes,
that's 100%.
That's a good way to describe it. Yes, it's a pissed off cry. So yeah, I was between
I'm sitting there fucking seething through tears,
yes,
I can't believe this is fucking real, Yeah, no, it's a fucking horrendous nightmare of a movie, and it's so good. But Zone of Interest, I mean, and Dead Poet Society is just, that part will always destroy me.
And then you already mentioned the good old Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it is I remember the first time I watched it, It was just kind of at the end. I'm emotional the whole time, and then the second watch then it's even easier to be emotional during the end. The second time, it's just a beautiful ending of a movie. Desperately needs a rewatch. It's been too long since I've seen that movie, but yeah, good old when two rocks, can get you to cry. I think that's kind of all. The movie's cooking. Whenever we're there,
yeah, it's so good.
And then I've already my number one is I feel like I'm just crying the whole movie, and it's not even that emotional of a movie. It's just because I love it so much, and it's Interstellar, and it's just like at any given moment I'm at the verge of just letting everything go, and I love it. I love that it gets me. Yeah. It gets me to have every emotion.
For me, there's a specific moment during that movie that fucking destroys me, and it's the same moment as it destroys everybody at. It's whenever he's watching the messages from his kids and they grow up in front of his eyes.
Of goddamn, yes, oh my god,
dude. And when it cuts back to him and he's just fucking destroyed, dude. Fuck! Yeah, that's a wrap. That is a wrap. I fully get that. The end, whenever he does go see Murph in her hospital bed, also kind of gets me. And the reason it gets me is that whole theme that like he just can't stop time and it just keeps pushing and it keeps pushing and he's not going anywhere. And dude, yeah, that's brutal. That's a good one. That is a good choice.
But yeah, there's my good old cry. Yeah, not starting off with King Kong, Toy Story 3, not quite up there again, but I had to include them for the good old.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But then Everything Ever All at Once, Dead Poets, and Interstellar. I mean, they had to. Those are the good. I love those cries. They're like different cries for each of them, that's for sure. But man, it's like I feel good coming out of the end. But yeah, Zone of Interest is that one anomaly.
Yeah, Zone of Interest is a different. I haven't watched that again. Like I watched it once.
Yeah, that's true.
And like
nope. No, really
no, and that's the thing is that like I do want to go back because it's that good of a movie. But fucking it feels like shit. Like it's a just a draining, devastating movie. So good choices. We're going to lighten it up here on this side of things. I'm going to ask you what your top 5 Star Wars movies are.
Yes. Okay. This one, out of the 5 questions, I feel like was the easier. I thought, okay, I know Star.
I know my top 4. I know my top 4. I always know my top 4. That's kind of how, and then whatever the 5th one is just, kind of the honorable mention almost for me.
But I think I've gotten to a point where I used to throw in a lot of the original trilogy for the prowess that they have and like how great they are. I think the best made movies that there are. But as far as my favorite Star Wars movies, there's only one out of that trilogy that actually, or I guess 2. But like this is, I guess my preface is like, this is just pure favorites. The ones I just go back to more than anything is how I kind of had to go about it. Because like thinking of one moment that I like the most or performances that I like, I can't do it on like any other metric of just where do I return to the most or which ones make me feel the best. And number 5 is, maybe it's just time coming around. I never would have had a sequel in my top 5, I don't think, for a long time. But man, every time I watch The Force Awakens, it just makes me feel so good. It's like it's the first, like I had the actual theater experience. This is my number 5, by the way. It is The Force Awakens. But it is like, it has that theater experience. I got to experience it for myself. And then just like Rey, I sadly was in the camp of like, not that I hated her, but it was just like this is not Star Wars, blah, blah. I was in that camp at the beginning, and I don't like that. But now it's like, to see her, like, I didn't know there was this much green in the whole galaxy, or like just every little step along the way is like, it makes all of the previous Star Wars knowledge I have worth it to get to this, I don't know. And so I had to throw a sequel in there. Is my 5, The Force Awakens. And then moving on, I love the only prequel that's on here for me, and it's not Revenge of the Sith.
No shit.
And it's not I know. And like I love, maybe this is the one that I might be coping to, or I don't know. My logic might be off of the rails, not throwing Revenge of the Sith on here. But like, I just rewatched the prequels very recently, and the one that I take out of it that I love the most is The Phantom Menace. I don't know. I can watch The Phantom Menace over and over and over again, and I will never get tired. Maybe it's I have reached the limit of Revenge of the Sith. It's like I have watched that movie and way more than any other Star Wars movie.
I get that. I get that.
So yeah,
the prequels are fascinating for me because every time I watch it, I walk away with a new favorite and a new least favorite. Like every time I watch the prequels, it does not matter when, where. You could show me those movies. I could watch 6 straight movies, and it's just the prequels twice, and I will feel differently both times. You know, like it's So I'm glad you bring it. This is your only prequel.
It is my only.
Well, then it's the only prequel that's going to be mentioned.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it is kind of wild, and I don't know. Maybe it. You know, we evolve as Star Wars fans. You know,
100%.
and things will change. But
the thing that has become undeniable for me. Sorry. Was getting another call. Had to send them to voicemail. The thing for me that you mentioned, like when it comes to the top 5 best, it's a little different than my top 5 favorites. For me, they've become one, and there's not a lot of other things that I feel that way about. My top 5 favorite Star Wars movies, because I love all of them, have become what I believe are the top 5 best Star Wars movies. And the fact of the matter when I'm looking at it is that the prequels aren't as good as some other movies in the franchise. And the Phantom Menace, like when it comes to the prequels, they're almost interchangeable for me. Like if I was going to throw one in, Revenge of the Sith is probably the first one off the list, as far as quality is concerned. But it's also the only trilogy where I think I actually don't have the best in mind whenever I think of my favorite, because I love watching Attack of the Clones. I love watching The Phantom Menace. Revenge of the Sith, again, I'm with you. It's probably the one that I've just worn out. You know, like I've probably watched it, I don't know how many times for the fight on Mustafar. But I'll tell you what, you get me drunk and you show me a Tragedy of Anakin Skywalker edit. Ooh, that's going to do things to me, man. That's going to do things to me. And in a way that the movies themselves don't do, which is very, very funny. Like, I almost appreciate the idea of the trilogy more than I appreciate the trilogy itself, which is an interesting, the trajectory of the story is so beautiful. I love the descent. I love the tragedy of it all. But I think George Lucas is a great ideas man. I don't think he's a great director. I just don't. Yep. I don't think he's a great director, and he directed all 3 of those movies, and they all suffer for it. He wrote all of those movies, screenplay-wise, and they all suffer for it. Great ideas, again, incredible ideas. But damn, man, there's a point whenever you got to go. Maybe someone else should handle this. Which is why ultimately, when I look back on the trilogies, it might be probably not my favorite.
It's wild. Like, it's wild that Revenge of the Sith, like, you ask me not even that long ago. I don't know. Like, I don't know when this switch really happened, but it is kind of like I think the prequels will always be nostalgic, and like, it
100%.
was the movies I grew up with. But like, I think I prefer, like, I'd rather watch the sequels now over the OT will always be the best trilogy. I don't think that there's ever any.
It's never getting surpassed.
But I do think the sequels have surpassed the prequels.
They have for me. They have for me. Because like, we'll get to it. There's a lot more ranking. There's a lot more ranking to do, and it sounds like the sequels will come up a couple more times, at least on mine. So.
But yes, so I had Force Awakens, and then The Phantom Menace. And then 3 is where I have The Return of the Jedi. I love, this used to be like 1 for me. I feel like
me too.
At a lot of times. I love Luke. At this point, could not be any cooler. Me growing up, I mean, he does the, at the Sarlacc pit whenever he does the freaking jump off the board,
Yeah.
fling back up in the air. I just the green. He comes out with the green lightsaber. I feel like it was like, okay, dark clothes. This is my idol, who I'm going to just love as a kid growing up. But yeah, I love just the end of the original trilogy. It's we're blowing up another Death Star or whatever, but no, I love everything about it. It is crazy. I don't know. I need to get to my one, I guess, before I make that point. But yeah, like the original trilogy, there will always be the love for it, and this is, I guess, just where Return of the Jedi was. But number 2, the one non-trilogy or movie that's in here, and not Solo, but Rogue One had to find its way in here. Was already good, and then Andor came out and then just enhanced it even more. So I mean, Rogue One is kind of a specialty amongst all of the movies, I feel like, and the part of the story that part of Star Wars that I actually appreciate way more, the non-Jedi side of the story, just the fight, the rebellion,
right?
And all that nitty gritty, which is I feel like it hits on a different level. But then one. It feels wrong to not include Empire Strikes Back in a top 5 list, but I don't. This is where I don't. I know it's weird, and I don't know how, but like the 2 of the original trilogy that I love is A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, and I don't know, like cannot at all discredit. It is the best Star Wars movie ever. Like cinematically, it looks beautiful. But this feels very wrong to say, but it's almost when I'm watching Empire, it's like I'm waiting to get to Return of the Jedi. Right. But like, it's a weird ebb and flow of, I guess, how I love my love for Star Wars movies. But A New Hope, the first one, has like kind of always just been there.
Yeah,
it's just
understandable. Understandable.
I can't move it. But yeah, to not have Revenge of the Sith and to not have Empire is
pretty wild. I didn't
weird.
expect that. I didn't expect that. Yeah,
I didn't either. So it's like a weird. I don't know.
You're building out that top 5,
something
and you're
wrong
like,
with me?
You finished it. You're like, damn. All right, I guess.
Yeah, but
no, I feel that though, and that's why we do this. I love a top. Like, I love that you surprised me with the top 5. I didn't want it. I did not want it to be a normie top 5, and I can say with 100% certainty that is not a normie top 5. Which is very, very nice. That's very pleasing. Yeah, when it comes to my top 5, it gets hard to decide which one the 5 is going to be. Like I said, I didn't include a prequel. If there was going to be one that could rotate here, it would probably be Revenge of the Sith. I do think that is the best prequel. It's the most complete, in my opinion. It still has all the same glaring flaws as the first 2 prequels, but it elevates cinematically, I think, to a different level. So that gets tough. The other one that like could be here is Rogue One. But I don't have Rogue One.
Okay.
I love Rogue One dearly, but I don't have it here. So I start my top 5 with the same place you did. I start with The Force Awakens. Again, same reasons. Nostalgic as all hell. I saw it in theaters when I was 15, and it was like, oh wait, I think this is about to change my life. Like, I grew up loving Star Wars, but the Disney acquisition of Star Wars genuinely did reinvigorate all the feelings I had for Star Wars. Like, there's a chance that if Disney doesn't take over that franchise, nothing ever gets done with the franchise again. And therefore, it's a few movies that I really liked when I was younger, and maybe I never came back around to them for real, But that the Disney acquisition did keep them in my palette my whole life, so I do appreciate that The Force Awakens did that for me. I love the introduction of Daisy Ridley. When we were talking about scores, I almost picked The Force Awakens because Rey's theme is that good. I love Rey's theme. But yeah, so The Force Awakens 5. I love Adam Driver too, so I'm always gonna show some love there. So Force Awakens 5, 4 Return of the Jedi. I love Return of the Jedi. It feels impossible not to include the last shot of them sitting in the Ewok village all together and then it fading and that being the end. It's just always going to put a giant shit-eating grin on my face, dude. I love it. Incredible conclusion to an incredible franchise. And this is also kind of an exception. I don't think this is the best made movie either. You know, I don't think it's got as much notable stylistic flair as Empire or as a couple other movies or even as A New Hope. But man, does it feel good, and not a lot like that's impossible to deny. So I love Return of the Jedi. 3, this is where I go A New Hope. Love the OG. Huge fan. It always hits all the right buttons. I love the trench run is always going to be iconic. I love I love Leia. I love Carrie Fisher. So it's hard not to love this movie for that reason. She is incredible. Ben Kenobi is someone who, when I was younger, I didn't really give a shit about, but now as I'm older, I feel like he's one of my favorite characters in the franchise, and just, man, I love Alec Guinness. It's just a great movie. And again, John Williams' score is absurd. And I'm gonna stop saying that because all of that is the case for every one of these. 2, this is my hottest take. Everyone always hates me for it, but it is what it is. This is where I have The Last Jedi. Episode 8 is the second best movie in the franchise. I have no doubt about that. I have very little doubt about that. Rian Johnson absolutely cooked with fucking flames. Flame broiled this shit, dude. It is incredible. I love Adam Driver. I love the way this movie looks. Daisy Ridley is phenomenal. It's the best Mark Hamill performance in the entire franchise. John Boyega's great. Oscar Isaac's great. It's the only one that has Laura Dern. Let's fucking cook.
True.
I don't know. It's the only one with Benicio del Toro. It's the only one with Laura Dern. It's got an Indiana Jones and James Bond homage. It's they free those animals on that casino capitalist planet where it's like you're exploiting the environment. You're exploiting this planet's natural resources. Let's set it free. Fucking love. I love that shit. I think that. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I wonder if the last, a lot of the sequel's hate that surrounds it is the switch of directors, is the fact that it wasn't a cohesive thing the whole time, and that we had to flip and flop. But I wonder, now, you just take it out of a vacuum completely, just the movie by itself, how people would actually think, remove that bias and then see what the people's opinion would be.
The Red Room scene, the throne room scene is absolutely electric. It's unbelievable. It's an absurdly good movie, and that's why I'm like, I'll never forget sitting in that theater watching it and being like, oh my god, this is incredible. That whole scene, the throne room scene where Snoke dies, the fight happens, the Haldo maneuver happens, Finn fights Captain Phasma. That's all the same part of the movie.
Yeah.
That's...
And the first ever just holding a lightsaber, hitting the button, and then the catching it and then...
Sick.
Sick. How has that never been done in Star Wars history at that point, It's like, I feel like, he actually made a movie that, use the fucking universe as it should have been. Let it all die.
Let it go. Yeah, I love Adam Driver. And that's one of the best moments when Daisy Ridley just watches him and she kind of breaks down and she's like, you're not who I want you to be. I thought when you killed Snoke, that was it. You're Ben again. Yeah. Come on. And then he can't get there yet. I love that shit. Now, that's why The Rise of Skywalker isn't here, is because it does, it seemed like Rian Johnson's trajectory for Adam Driver's character was not redemption. It was, I'm going to dive further and further into this. Now, I enjoy The Rise of Skywalker a great deal. I love Ben Solo's redemption. I love the conclusion there. That scene with Han Solo and Kylo is incredibly moving. I love that shit. It's just not as good a movie as those other two sequels. And my one is the obvious one. Mine's Empire. It just won't ever get old, man. I I love the movie. It looks fucking phenomenal. As you said, it is definitely the best looking Star Wars movie. Irvin Kershner did unbelievable with the direction. There's a fun story that the reason Return of the Jedi in pace and in tone is more similar to A New Hope is because Irvin Kershner, director of Empire Strikes Back, like expressly did not listen to George Lucas with regards to how to direct the movie.
Fuck you, George. I know more
no
of a camera.
Shit.
He's like, I got this. Or
sometimes that faster, more intense thing isn't what's going to make the best movie. That's what makes Empire stand out in that original trilogy. Is it is the slowest. It unfolds. It allows you to breathe the most when we're on Cloud City and when we're on Dagobah and all of that. Like it takes its time, and then when it pays off big. And I love that. Yeah. I love that movie. I love that movie dearly. So yeah, my top 5: Empire, Last Jedi, New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens. But like I said, I love all of them. I really do. It's a special franchise. So that's top 5 Star Wars, baby.
There we are. There we is. And let's see. Is next up, I guess, yes, it has to be. The only other question that I have, the good old top 5 costumes or outfits.
This one was tough. This one was really tough, but yeah. I'm going to breeze through it a little bit because, when it comes to my absolute 5 favorites, hard to say that this is definitely the 5, but they are definitely the 5 that came to mind first, and I was super comfortable declaring them so, Another important thing for me with this one is that I actually expressly did not want to do a superhero, so I did not include a superhero, although there are some incredible superhero costume designs, and there's no denying that. But as far as creating a character that I can identify 0.5 seconds flat, that's that character, no doubt. Anyone could be wearing the costume. I see it. I know it. One of them had to be the dude from The Big Lebowski. I just, when someone's dressed as the dude, even if you haven't seen The Big Lebowski, you see it and you go, this guy's got the Big Lebowski thing going on.
And I fall into that camp. I still haven't seen it, but I did know of this look, or at least I knew of the character before, so
that's just like awesome. Your opinion, man. Yeah. I love the dude. I love Jeff Bridges. I love the look, and it is iconic in its own right. So I had to include it. Number 4, I'm going Wizard of Oz. I'm going Dorothy. Dorothy, iconic costume design. Not exactly strictly the most complicated costume by any stretch of the imagination, but when you see Dorothy, you're looking at Dorothy. There's no questions about it. That is who that character is. Now 3, this is more the role the costume itself plays in the movie makes it elevated. It's not like Dorothy and the Dude where anyone will see it and they'll recognize it. It's just that good of a costume. And it's Eloise's dress, the green dress in Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's got its own searing beauty that sticks with you once you've seen the movie, and that's always going to get me. I love it's what she's painted in, that is the portrait of the lady, and it hits like a motherfucker for me. So had to include that. Number 2, this is kind of a character, how they costumed a character versus a specific costume for the character. And it's Jobu Tupaki from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Ooh,
the evolving looks at the end where every time she hits something, it changes, and then she hits something and she changes again, and that like kind of strange look she has at the end whenever she's got the funny lipstick and the eyebrows are all messed up and the hair comes down over her forehead to say Jobu, and like she's got a lot of incredible looks in the movie. So I just kind of had to include her. Stephanie Hsu does an incredible job in that role. And number 1, it's Darth Vader. So there's It's hard not to include. Like you ask me who's my top 5 costumes, the first thing I'm going to put down is Darth Vader. Like it's just to design a villain so iconic and then craft a costume so iconic that it is synonymous with the best villain of all time, synonymous with the best costume design of all time. Like, you ask anybody one of the best costume designs of all time, and Darth Vader will be one of their first thoughts. Like, that's unbelievable. So, those are the 5 I went with. Darth Vader, Jobu Tupaki, Eloise, and Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Dorothy, and the Dude.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I guess I went a lot more Joe style here. I did not exclude the superheroes. I couldn't. And I went for just what called to me, I guess. And one costume, a movie, I don't know. This is another, I need to rewatch this movie. And one of the only Tarantinos that I like or feel like I have to return to, and Kill Bill, the good old yellow suit.
I knew as soon as you said Tarantino, I was like, it's Kill Bill. Yeah, I thought about it too.
And the fact that it's also a Bruce Lee inspired suit as well. Bruce Lee changed a lot of my philosophy with just working out and getting healthier. And then I don't know, just the suit I think is just very iconic. And I think even if I don't know, I guess I don't know how iconic it was whenever it was Bruce Lee's, if people knew it as his, but I feel like nowadays you see that suit and it's no longer Bruce Lee's.
That's Beatrix Kiddo right there, baby.
Yes, it belongs to her, so which I think is pretty cool.
There was actually another Uma Thurman costume design that I considered, and it was the Pulp Fiction one, the black bob and the white shirt that she gets down on the dance floor in. I love that.
That's an iconic. Yeah, a lot of people know that look. But yeah, I love that yellow suit. Need to revisit there. And this, I went in the comic book vein. And Heath Ledger's Joker, I feel like is just. I mean, it makes it look real, like in Nolan's world, but it still has that campiness to it. And I think I just wanted to get a chance to talk about Heath Ledger's Joker too. It is, anytime you can bring it up, it is kind of like it's not even just the costume, it's the makeup, it's how Heath Ledger is licking his lips. It's just kind of
the character everything. Building just on sight is pretty incredible. Like you give me like a loading screen of Heath Ledger's mannerisms in that outfit, and I'm going to be like, holy fuck, this is incredible. It's just him licking his lips and kind of swaying back and forth or whatever. I'm there.
So had to get him in there. And then 3, kind of maybe not one specific person, but just the look of these things in general. I just kind of want one. It's the Dune still suits, and just the desert wear, or like however he puts it on. The more.
Now, are you talking Denis Villeneuve Dune or David Lynch? No, I'm just kidding. You're definitely talking Denis Villeneuve.
But no, the still suit with the cape, like Timmy's kind of dark look, I guess whenever he is getting there, like it is. Oh, I don't know. It does.
God, those are ones I need to rewatch too, man. I love the Dune movies. Oh shit. Yeah.
Love me a still suit. But yeah, 1 and 2. I think 1 is actually just because I just rewatched the prequels. I don't know if it's my true one. But number 2, I actually have a Spider-Man suit. I had to have a Spidey suit on here, and my favorite is Andrew's number 2, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. The big old bug eyes. I mean, in the flap, it flaps in the wind whenever he's swinging. It's, I don't know. It's the cleanest to me. And okay, the thing that even got me interested in costume design to begin with was Toby's, the OG Spider-Man.
Him drawing
that shit. I'm like, now I have to find a situation where I do this for myself. But
and now you have check out Geek with Me.
True that. God damn it, I still gotta fucking finish those arms. Put Doc Ock's arms on there. But yes, number uno now, which maybe is just because of the prequels. But it's pretty much any costume or outfit that Padme puts on during that whole time. If I had to pick one movie, it'd be Attack of the Clones. She has, I think, the best suite of outfits to pick from there. But then specifically, I mean, it just is what made me fall in love with her as a kid. I feel like it's that yellow dress out and whenever they're just in the fields.
So pretty.
and
her wedding dress is gorgeous too.
I mean,
at the end of the movie,
the gradient that's going on there. Yes, it is. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just me, my childhood celebrity crush. Blinding me here.
That is,
but,
as far as in the Jobu Tupaki realm, where it's like the best costumed character in Star Wars, in the Star Wars movies specifically, would probably be Padme. I think there's kind of no doubt. I think now when you open it up to TV shows, there's an argument to be had for Mon Mothma. But as far as the movies are concerned,
yes.
I would go Padme.
Good. Bond's good. Maybe a Lando Calrissian if
Lando has a chance.
You know, I think his closet might win, but as far as what we've seen on screen,
seen him wear,
yeah.
Now, I mean, that big fur coat he's rocking in Solo is pretty fucking clean too. I love, as far as dudes, Lando top one. But then you then you open it up to shows again, and Andor's costume design is just that good. Ooh. You could go Luthen, you could go Cassian, you could pick any of those guys, and I might be like, yeah, probably. I'm with you. It's Padme is, in my opinion, the best costumed character in the movies. Like, as far as you get the most reign whenever it's not just one look, you know?
Yeah. Like, you don't have to just take it down to just robes and a lightsaber. It's
exactly.
No. Go free anything you want. And she's also a queen, which helps, you know, in the Phantom. Yeah. Like, she gets to go
Phantom
back
Menace
and forth.
costume is the other one I was considering. I was like, the giant queen headdress and stuff, and then the handmaiden outfits were the orange and yellow gradient fading thing going on. I always loved those.
But Padme, she's got the looks.
She's got the closet.
I mean, she's got everything.
She's got the closet.
Yeah, so, but yeah, kind of maybe. Yeah, not as iconic. You know, you can't really tell her silhouette like Vader. That's for sure. But I love that somehow we do have Vader and Padme at one. You know,
true.
Both of them
true.
up there.
How about a tragedy there? I love that. I love that. But we'll go ahead and top this off with your top 5 most nostalgic movies. Topping off Nostalgia November the right way. What are your top 5 nostalgic movies ever made?
So, I feel like it'd be. I was going to include robots on here, but I feel like having it be my pick, there's a whole podcast on it, so an opportunity to talk different movies, so it's not. But I'm starting off with Dumb and Dumber.
Goody.
It just puts me back into the childhood times. I don't know how many times this was on the living room TV, whether my dad actually threw the DVD in or it was just like on TV on a random channel one night, and then we had to just sit down and watch it. Just throws me back. And just one of my favorite comedies of all time too. So had to throw it in there. More not the movie. I guess it is just what it makes me. Specifically to me, I don't feel like most people see this as a nostalgic movie. But yeah, just kind of my time.
No, yeah, that was more what I was looking for. Was that you like stuff that makes you nostalgic? Yeah, I'm with you.
And but 4. What man? A kid movie growing up that we just ran the hell out of. I think I'm thinking of the sequel. Okay, it's The Sandlot. And I don't think it's the original one. I get them mixed up in my head, but I'm pretty sure it's the newer one. Oh my God, is that Austin Butler that gets bit in the leg and then is that him or am I tripping?
No, it is not, but he looks a lot like him. It's Max Lloyd Jones.
Okay, so not okay, yeah, not okay, but I think it is the 2, or the sequel, the newer one that I have in my head, and this was just a me and my brother movie that we just went. I mean, we watched so much, and we thought, I thought it was Austin Butler for a second, yeah, but no, not quite. But that getting a bite, why was a scar or a bite like cool? Like, why did I want a scar or something to like show?
Because the cool guy in The Sandlot 2 got one. That's why.
Maybe that's it. But yeah. But no, The Sandlot. So I guess 2 would be where I'm going for 4. And then number 3. And still one I watched this not too long ago. But still haven't seen the new one that came out. But Lilo and Stitch.
Yep.
Just the good old. Oh man, I love good old Ohana means family. I used to be able to like actually do the Stitch voice and like say it in that, but I lost it. I don't know what like
family.
So yeah,
family means nobody gets left behind.
I'm envious. I mean, I every time I try to do it, I don't know why. It's not even remotely close.
I love Stitch. I love Stitch.
Yeah, Stitch.
It's one of my all timers. Yeah.
I don't know. Love a good. I had to get an animated movie in here, but then one more animated movie hit my brain after I saw Lilo and Stitch. I was looking through my physical collection for a lot of these, and this is one that I sadly don't have anymore because the disc was ruined because of it was watched so much, and it was Batman Beyond, but the Return of the Joker.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. I can see the DVD, and it wasn't one of those ones that popped open. It had the little folding
the thing on the side. The clip.
Yep.
Yes. Oh my god.
You open that and then you flip it open. Yep. Got destroyed by me as well. Yep. I loved that movie.
And yeah, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, like actually my Batman and Joker, growing up, and like I didn't know it, like I didn't know their face, I didn't know it was Mark Hamill, and I didn't know that this was my Luke Skywalker, and like like I didn't put that together till much later in life, but I love that they were my two growing up, but yeah. Love that movie. Destroyed the shit out of that disc. But I think we do still have the case. Just because the case, we couldn't throw it. I mean, like that case.
You can't throw out that case.
The big ass green
Joker. It was so clean. It was so clean.
But the king of nostalgia for me, that's Toby. That's Spidey.
Yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't. I could get Andrew the praise for his suit up there, but I can't deny the nostalgic love that Toby gave me. That's a movie that I blew up the Blockbuster VHS of. I watched it so much that it actually uncoiled itself. It just the tape just one night, and then I had to return it to Blockbuster. And like, oh my god, they're like, holy what? Okay, here's another copy because you want to check out the same movie again. But yeah, so the most Blockbuster checked out movie by me ever. That's easy. And then yeah, I go back to it quite often, as I did just a couple days ago, or last week I think was Spidey 1 and 2 for me. So but yeah, the king always be the king of nostalgia for me, my boy Toby. But
I love that. Yeah, we're gonna have a couple in common here. Obviously we were both born in the year 2000. There's a few that I think for an entire generation, our generation, are just synonymous with our childhoods, and especially given what we've grown up to be interested in. I mean, it makes sense that we would have at least one of these in common. But yeah, I'll start. I also had Lilo and Stitch.
Really?
Yes, I did. Go. Lilo and Stitch. When I look back on that era of Disney animation, Lilo and Stitch reigns supreme. It definitely is the one that makes me the most nostalgic, and there's an interesting reason for that. One of the things that was also important is that I can't have steadily watched it all the way through my life, otherwise it wouldn't have become nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are other Pixar and Disney animated movies that I did keep watching. Lilo and Stitch was one that I watched a lot when I was really younger, and then I didn't rediscover it until very, very, a bit of a ways down the road. And when I watched it again, I was like, oh shit, that's right. This hits like a fucking truck for me. I love this. So Lilo and Stitch, big one that I didn't watch, like a ton after the age of 6, but then rewatching it within the last 10 years or so, kind of going, oh wow, yeah, this hits the spot. Another one that's like that, Toy Story 2. Love Toy Story 2. My favorite Toy Story, bar none. I love Toy Story 2. Always hits the spot for me. Al's Toy Barn, trying to break in there and break Buzz out, or break Woody out. Good stuff.
Gotta drive all the way to work on a Sunday. All the way to work. Yeah, on a Sunday. Bro crosses the street.
Right across the street. Fucking asshole. I hate Al. But yeah, Toy Story 2 had to be there. Cat in the Hat. Come on now.
Oh,
come on now, Cat in the Hat.
What am I doing? How did I actually not have that on here?
I can't believe you didn't have it. We brought it up recently. I think literally on the Robots podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cat in the Hat. I've mentioned this before. I probably quote that movie almost every day of my life. Like, I quote it all the time, and in situations where it makes no sense to quote the Cat in the Hat. incredibly hilarious, stupid, outrageous movie that shaped a generation's humor. I say, like I think there's an argument to be had that Gen Z humor is not the same without Cat in the Hat. But my top couple, I considered The Phantom Menace for this slot because when it comes to a Star Wars movie that does make me nostalgic, I do think it is The Phantom Menace. I think it's young Obi-Wan. I think it's the Duel of the Fates. All that that reminds me of being little and being awed by all of it. But we talked about Star Wars a lot, so I decided to leave it out. Fantastic Four, 2005, the one with Chris Evans, Johan Griffith, Jessica Alba, and Michael Chiklis. That's the thing. I love that movie. It's unquestionably not great, but man, does it it rings so nostalgic for me. Every time I watch it, it just transports me back immediately. Love it. All the toys that I used to play with based out of the movie and everything. Like I had this like 12-inch Human Torch action figure that was like on fire and like he was all orange and his hands had the fire coming out of it. His head was like, I loved that action figure. Loved the Thing. It's just Fantastic Four 2005. And then my number one is also Spider-Man 2002. It is the most nostalgic superhero movie for kids born in 2000. I can't imagine any other really being where that is for kids our age. Batman Beyond Return of the Joker was one that I considered as well, but I was like, he'll definitely have that. I don't need to worry about that. Batman Mask of the Phantasm, but Spider-Man 2002 is the one that I just continuously came back to. And then I'll never forget, it was after friend who lives down the street, Brendan. He used to live down the street anyway. Brendan Jackson. He got he had a shoulder surgery when we were 15, 16, somewhere in that range, and we watched all the Spider-Man movies in a day. Spider-Man 1 through 3, and I remember starting that first one and being like, oh my God, I don't think I've watched this in like 5 or 6 years. And like not since I was since I was really little. And I remember being like, oh my God, this just hits the spot. It just reminds me so much of being little, playing with this little Spider-Man doll that I kept with me everywhere I went. Spider-Man 2002, baby. Most nostalgic movie of all time. The
opening crawl. I learned like the flipping of the comics or like the to Marvel Comics intro. That was the first time that was used. Like that was made for that movie, and then like it is the start of like all the new ones, or like I guess that inside makes sense. Of the letters now. And
that makes sense. Just granted, there had also only been 3 Marvel movies prior to that.
But this
Blade, X-Men. This would be the first Sony one though, right? Which is interesting.
Yes.
Like, did Sony give it that identity almost? That's cool. That's
good old. And
X-Men was Fox. I can't remember what Blade was. Maybe Universal. I don't know.
But man, I don't know if it has been a year gone by in my life that like I haven't watched this movie. I feel like it, and I don't think that'll end.
And that's why it was considered for our Thanksgiving live commentary this year, because like and it probably will be considered again next year. And if we don't do it, it'll be considered the year after that. Like it's just one that we will it'll always be right there because we know it so well and could absolutely talk through the whole fucking thing. So, I love that movie. Great. Top one for the nostalgia choice. But let's talk December. November was spent with nostalgia. October was spent with the horror movies in that cinema surprise vein, as was the month before in that cinema surprise vein. Before that, Aliens. Before that, Pride Month. Before that, Mission Impossible. So we've bounced back and forth between franchise and project base. Now, I just want to know, where is your heart kind of... Do you desire to go back to that franchise vein at all? Or do you like the spreading out we've been doing with Cinema Surprise and then this nostalgia project? Do you want to go with something more broad? Or would you like to kind of lock in a little bit and try to get through something that's got 4 movies or so, thereabouts?
With the franchise thing, I think we have an interesting... effect where it can only maybe get worse over time, as we've covered like the GOAT of the franchises, I feel like, and but I don't know if there is a franchise that's screaming out to me, at least right now.
Yeah, I'm like, when I think of franchises we haven't covered, the only one that's like pretty iconic that we've only covered one of is The Matrix. Matrix is a pretty big one. We did cover all the John Wick movies. We've covered most of the Star Wars movies. We kind of reserve those for special occasions, though.
The Matrix, I like that, but it doesn't feel December.
No, it's not December-y. That's why I'm like, it's not the one to be considered, to be sure. But there's a lot of franchises out there. Maybe, but I'm not feeling a franchise for December, which is because I like the tone we've been striking. I love the. It's not been good download wise. People aren't returning week to week. But I don't really care. I enjoy doing it that way, so I would like to keep doing it that way.
But yes, let's see. I mean the good old Christmas movies or I don't know if Christmas is too like narrowing for like there's a shit ton of Christmas movies out there.
Right, but how much variety do we get in that frame of time if they're all through the lens of Christmas? I get that. And I would say personally that if we did a Christmas movie project, the idea I had that we've talked about a little bit was Holidazed, which is where we get fucked up and we talk about Christmas movies. Whether that's off marijuana or off alcohol, whatever you want. Just get fucked up and talk about a Christmas movie. Yeah, why not both? Let's get Chrissy Cross in this bitch. But I'm sure I would. But the idea I had there too, if there's 4 Fridays in December and the last, it would probably be formatted like this month. The last week in December, Christmas is on Thursday. So instead of it would be Friday, Thursday, like November was. And then obviously on New Year's Eve, we're going to cover a 2025 movie. That's just kind of how we usher in the new year, look back, and we, do that. But my idea for the 4 was like different genres, like a Christmas comedy, a Christmas horror movie, a Christmas action movie, and then a Christmas drama movie. Could be a fun way to format that month.
I like the sound of that.
And my heart has been like kind of itching. And there's a like, we don't have to settle on those specific genres. Like the other idea, like we could do, Christmas time periods as well. Like, because the celebration of Christmas has evolved over the course of time. The way it's discussed in movies is different over the course of time. But we could even do a Christmas classic. Like, it has to be, like the Christmas movie that we watch on Christmas itself could be It's a Wonderful Life, 1941. And like, we could do the genre thing before that.
Dang. Okay. Is this like actually the Christmas movie? Like
it is for me. Like, I love It's a Wonderful Life.
Because older than, that's pretty old. That's pretty classic there. And yeah, I like the idea of jumping to genres. And yeah, if that's just the one on Christmas, classic Christmas on Christmas.
Might as well. It is a quintessential classic Christmas. We covered Holdovers last year on Christmas, and we could throw it way back 80 years for this, which would be pretty cool. So, I mean, like, that's where my vote lies. It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas. I would love that. But before that, the only other movie that genre-wise is an obvious standout for me is horror, which is a movie called Black Christmas. Black Christmas is incredible.
2019.
It's got Margot Kidder.
74.
No, 74.
Okay.
It's got Margot Kidder, the iconic Lois Lane from the Superman movies. It's a slasher flick set in a sorority on Christmas. I think it's or on Christmas break, kind of. So it's got the Christmassy aesthetics. I think that would be my choice for a horror movie. Now, beyond that, like, the reason I narrow in on those is because those are easier to pick. Like, that's just like, there's not many of them. We can go with that. Now, the other genres, like, there's plenty of, Christmas action. You know, Violent Night with David Harbour as Santa Claus just came out recently.
That's what is that, and that's not. That is. I thought
that is an action movie. That is an action movie.
Okay.
Silent Night with Joel Kinnaman. It's a John Woo movie. Silent Night just came out last year, or a couple years ago. That I've never watched it, but it's a John Woo action movie set at Christmas. It's called Silent Night. That seems pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, is Jingle All the Way an action movie?
Yeah.
It's got Arnold. So I wasn't sure if
I remember one action scene, like he be.
All right, then it's
like
probably not enough to call
action.
it an action movie.
It's not like it's like action sequences, not fighting any. It's like in a mall that a crazy thing will happen, or
right.
But
all right, then if we did do a Christmas action movie, it probably would be either that Violent Night or Silent Night.
Let's see.
Trying to think of if there. I mean, Red One came out last year. The one with Chris Evans, The Rock, J.K. Simmons, Lucy Liu, all that like that. That was a pretty big one. I mean, we could continue to play on the nostalgia thing. Like we could. You could. I mean, obviously, if I let you pick a nostalgic Christmas movie, we're watching Polar Express and we're discussing Polar Express.
That is, as far as Christmas movies go for me, that's like the one that does jump out.
But you know, I think. I don't know. That's a fun idea. That's why I'm like, I like the. I would also be perfectly okay reserving a spot for Polar Express, regardless of genre affiliation. If you would like to cover Polar Express, I'm super down for that.
Is that at least is the classic? I mean, maybe just my family. It was every year, and like that. It was just kind of was our.
I always loved
Christmas
the Polar
movie.
Express, and the rest of my family was not digging it.
Hot chocolate. Oh, I don't know. I fucking
Yeah,
for that alone.
That's a classic.
But yeah, I wonder
Spike
how
a little
I
hot
view it
chocolate
now.
discussing Polar
Yeah.
Express. Ooh.
Maybe still the holidays just still there, you know.
Oh, it's still holidays. Yeah. No matter what, I'm getting fucked up while we talk about these Christmas movies. I'm gonna tell you that. Let's see. Ooh, there's a lot of good Christmas movies, man. So right now, It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas.
I like that.
Black Christmas for a horror movie. Polar Express for, let's say, the family Christmas movie. You know, like it's like the family friendly animated. There we go. We'll call it the animated movie. Let's see. Christmas comedies. There's obviously a ton of those. You know, a movie that ever since I returned to being, or not returned, but became a real movie guy. A movie that's on every Christmas that I've never given the time of day because I was just young and it's old and I didn't have any interest, and I was like, nah, I don't like the aesthetics, but you know, it's classic, is A Christmas Story.
Christmas Story. Is that
it's on? It plays on 24-hour loop on Christmas on TNT.
Yeah, I just fell into the same exact vein. It's like I've seen this everywhere. I've
watched it. I watched it when I was younger. Like, I think the last time I paid attention to A Christmas Story was like 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been so long, and because of that, I was 10 years old, and I was like, nah, I don't think I like this movie that much. I think I'd like it a lot more now. So, you know, maybe we do go with another Christmas classic there. Maybe we sandwich the month with Christmas classics, like maybe next Friday. Maybe next Friday is A Christmas Story on December 5th.
I always forget about Home Alone. I guess the kid just reminded me
Home Alone.
of him.
Damn, do we fill the month up with Christmas classics? Because these are very different movies too, by the way. You know, like A Christmas Story is not at all like Home Alone, and Home Alone and none of them are like It's a Wonderful Life. So now you got me thinking like we might be able to fill the month with Christmas classics. And they're not
even Elf. is that like is Elf is some people okay, maybe this is
there are people who either love Elf or fucking hate Elf. Like there are people who are expressly anti-Elf. I'm not one of them, but those people exist.
Day. I still
You've
have
never seen Elf?
I've never seen Elf. I know, which is like kind of wild that I've gotten this far.
That makes the idea of covering it kind of fun. For that reason,
it would be a first watch. But yeah, like I mean, because that's like if holiday classics, like it feels like we got the classic on Christmas. I like the
well, it's got me thinking that with a Christmas if we're adding a Christmas Story to the lineup, that being on Christmas feels even more appropriate than It's a Wonderful Life because of the television aspect of it. Like it is on the TV all day on Christmas. Like TNT has it on a 24-hour, which makes me think that It's a Wonderful Life should probably be how we start Christmas season next Friday on December 5th.
I like that.
Okay, that's cool. Let's see. And I mean, I'm super down for Polar Express still. If that's one that you would like to go ahead and reserve, I'm super cool with it. But for me, I think it's when it comes to that, it's like either that or Elf. And I don't know why I kind of feel that way. I think it's because they came out so close to each other, like similar years.
We're covering a lot of good eras. Like we're taking it way back, and then like Christmas Story is 80s. The newer Polar Express and Elf are in very similar times.
Let's see. Polar Express was 04, Elf was 03. So yeah, I mean like they are
very similar.
Next door neighbors. Next door neighbors. Ooh, The Muppet Christmas Carol. That's a classic. I love The Muppet Christmas Carol. 92. Michael Caine.
The Muppet. I know I've seen that. I mean, that would have been who knows how long ago. Yeah, even if I have. Man, yeah, that. Wonder what. Okay, so say it is. I mean, honestly, Polar, like I would rather cover Elf because I've never seen it than Polar Express. Polar Express is I still love it, but it is just kind of like because it was just my Christmas movie growing up. But yeah, I can't speak to Elf. I guess I have no clue. It's just because it would be a first watch, which is always fun.
When it comes to being able to discuss Elf, it might be a good one just because it will almost be kind of like a break. It's just a fun little movie that we would discuss for maybe an hour. Maybe. Like we'd probably be pushing our limits if we got to an hour on Elf.
Okay.
It's simple, but it's full of holiday spirit. Will Ferrell is obvious. Like, I'm not an anti-Elf guy. I think it's a fun movie. There are people who are like, that movie is so fucking stupid.
Really?
And
okay.
Yeah. And
There's
for
Elf
me,
hate
there is a lot of Elf hate, and I can't bring myself to like. I'm not a hater. There's no movie that I'm like, that movie fucking sucks. I hate it. Like that doesn't happen to me. So it's hard for me to relate to anybody being like, I don't like Elf. I'm like, okay. Mostly because I just can't understand what would bring you to be like, I don't like this super fun, happy movie. Now, if you just don't think it's funny, that makes sense. That tracks. That's all it kind of takes sometimes. But I don't know. I'd be super down for. I mean, Elf's always a good one. Home Alone though.
Yeah. That. What year is that? That's 90.
That's 90. So that would take like a 90 slot over the Muppet Christmas Carol if we were going to do that. It's not. I mean that's very classic. I think. I'm gonna tell you what though. Home Alone 2, superior. Yeah. Prefer Home Alone 2. I love Lost in New York. That's my shit. Christmas Vacation's always good. I've always loved that one.
Donnie T, or good old making an appearance. In Home Alone
yes, he
2,
does pop up
which
in that.
That's
That could be a fun. That could be a fun opportunity
wild.
to just go ahead and fucking air out. You get me. It's holidays too, so I'm fucked up. I've got a few drinks in my system. I'm gonna let it fly against that bitch. I'm gonna tell you that much. So I'm gonna get the photo of him and Bubba.
Oh man, it's the world we fucking live in.
I can't believe this is real life. Can't believe this is real life.
Not a movie. Yeah, this
is actually happening.
The second, I remember the first one pretty clearly, but like the second one, I haven't seen that many times at all. So like, yeah, that could be fun.
I'm on two's in. But that's the thing is like just covering a sequel. It's always kind of like
yeah.
I feel kind of half-hearted just going into Home Alone 2. However, I don't think there's a scenario in which I would want to cover both Home Alone and Home Alone 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they are essentially the same movie, just set in different places. So, an idea forms. A light bulb. Home Alone and Home Alone 2, one episode, a versus format. Home Alone versus Home Alone 2. We watch them both and we discuss them. Which aspects of which do you prefer? Because they are essentially the same movie, it would not be complicated, and we would probably still knock that out in an hour and a half or less.
I can dig, you know. That's kind of the movie is all. It is the kid versus the adults, you know. It is always it is a battle the whole time. So yeah,
it is a battle.
Now we actually put them up against each other. That's fun.
So one episode on Home Alone and Home Alone 2. I kind of like that too. So start the month with It's a Wonderful Life. Next week move to Home Alone 2. Week after that.
Yeah. What's this one? What's this?
I think what this is telling me is that we don't really want to cover either Elf or Polar Express if neither of us is like, yep, that's the one.
They're obviously classic Christmas movies, but like,
yeah,
we have to also fit the vein of podcast Christmas movies.
Like we got to be able to talk about them. And I don't know how fruitful those would be.
Are there other Christmas? I mean, like, or just go into the Christmas horror, like with Black Christmas, or.
Yeah,
but I didn't even think of Christmas horror as like a genre. Like that wasn't even. I don't. Are there?
I don't even know how much Christmas horror there is. I just know Black Christmas is a good fucking movie.
Yeah. I don't know. None of these are looking. Yeah, I've never even heard of a single one of these, and not a single one of them has been above 5 stars as of yet. They're all 3, 2, 3. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking perhaps it is just It's a Wonderful Life, Black Christmas, Home Alone and Home Alone 2, and A Christmas Story, and maybe that's the way we go.
Yeah. I like the idea of, you know, a horror, I guess. A Wonderful Life, Home Alone, and Christmas Story are all.
Yeah, Black Christmas doesn't fit precisely that mold. It is definitely definitely a divergence. So maybe what I need to get away from is an obsession with the era thing. Like maybe we do go ahead and go with Christmas Vacation, or I mean, even Muppet Christmas Carol, which I know is like the same year as Home Alone and Home Alone 2, does hit the spot. That's a goodie. Deck the Halls is really funny. That's an underrated Christmas one for my money. The 2000, whatever the fuck, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 2000 on the dot, with Jim Carrey.
Oh, I always forget about the Grinch. Yeah, I love.
Maybe
Jim
that's
Carrey.
the one.
Yeah, that's pretty damn classic.
It's a classic, and it's another one that's got antes. It's another one that's got big pros. It could drive some traction. So I think maybe that's the lineup. It's a Wonderful Life, Home Alone 2, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, A Christmas Story.
Yeah, good old. way to get Jim Carrey in here, I guess, or a weird
I'm gonna be
performance.
fucking
of
up
his.
some eggnog all month long on this podcast, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Okay, I think we've got it. I think Holidays is the way we're gonna go in December, and it's gonna bring you next Friday. It's a Wonderful Life. The week after that, we're gonna hit a Home Alone versus Home Alone 2 episode. Yeah. After that, we're gonna hit into how the Grinch Stole Christmas. Maybe we do another versus there, and we go versus the animated one. I don't know, like the animated little. Maybe that's the vibe there too. We get a little of that format in the middle of the month.
The animated one.
The animated one.
Is it
You
like
have
the 2018?
No. The old one. I'm talking like the 30 to 45 minute short film. That's just. You're a mean one.
Yes, okay.
Mr. Grinch.
I have seen that one.
Yeah, I'm like, you've seen that. I mean, we could do the 2018 one. It's not that bad. I enjoy it. But it's basically a remake of How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Cumberbatch.
This one.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbutt.
Yeah. Say his name in any way, it's still him. You still know who you're referring to. It's too.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, I think this. It very, very much classic Christmas.
I'm in it. I'm in it. Now I'm in it. I like this format a lot. Holidays, getting nice and fucked up, talking some Christmas movies. That's a great plan. So next Friday, we'll bring you It's a Wonderful Life, starring Jimmy Stewart. I cannot wait to kick off the holiday season that way. That is perfect. I'm so ready. Okay, then I guess with that, we can conclude this episode of The Cinementalists. Thank you for joining us for such a wonderful month. Nostalgia November was so much fun. If you didn't check them out and you just came here, go ahead and check those out. We'll appreciate you greatly. But with that, I think we can conclude this episode. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, it truly is a wonderful life.